Hey, what's up? Jeff Lerner here, and today we're talking about how to stop procrastinating. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to stop procrastinating. Is this something you struggle with? My answer is yes, because you're human and humans do this. It's a problem. I know. I've coached hundreds of humans and we all do this. I do it too. It's something I've had to work especially hard to get past. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a couple tricks that I've used to really get past it, to get to the place in my life where, frankly, people are constantly asking me how I get so much done. And the general answer is just that I don't procrastinate, but that's easier said than done. So let's talk about how you do it. First of all, really powerful concept I was introduced to that sounds so deceptively simple that it's like frustrating and almost maddening. Because it's so easy, you'll just like resist it. You're like, no, surely that can't be that powerful, right? But anyway, there was a book written in 2017 by somebody named Mel Robbins. You might have seen her. She's got like a pretty big social following about like productivity and optimization and stuff. She also has a TED Talk. So if you're one of those people that doesn't like to read the book, you can, like with many things, you can watch the TED Talk. But she talks about something, in fact, the book is called the 5-second rule. And it's basically proven through countless brain studies, and she details it all in the book, but I don't need to read the studies because I can tell you that I've proven it in my own life. There's like this inception moment, if you've seen the movie Inception, you kind of know what that term means, or even if you haven't, you probably know anyways. But there's like this inception moment where you like have this idea, or you have this pulse that's like, I need to do something. And basically within 5 seconds, you have this window to either capture the potential energy that's in that pulse, that instinct to do the thing, or after 5 seconds, there's all these switches that turn on in the brain where you basically will come up with a zillion reasons why now's not a good time, or it can wait, or it wasn't that good an idea anyways, or oh well, it'll be better if I wait and get this other piece of information. This is like the bane of our existence, is this thing that happens in our brain, and I don't remember all the neuroscience behind it. She explains it in the book, but it kicks on after 5 seconds. So the exercise, the discipline, is literally to just train yourself to always act within 5 seconds of your impulse. And that is really hard for some people. I know from my coaching, we do personality profiles. We have, red, yellow, green, and depending on what personality test you're using, there's like blue or orange or brown, sometimes different colors that describe different personality types, or there's different models. There's like, sanguine and phlegmatic. There's the DISC assessment, DISC spectrum. Like there's all these different personality assessments, but they all kind of fit around the same basic framework. And within the model of human personality, there's a lot of people that are like patient, deliberate, they like to take their time, they really like to consider all their options. And that's like 40% of our population. So it's not, there's typically the personalities are broken into 4 chunks, but they're usually not even 25% chunks. This is always a pretty big chunk, the people that just don't like to rush in. And so those people naturally resist this. This has been my experience. And if you're like, no, there's no way, this 5-second rule sounds impulsive, it sounds reckless, then you might be, a yellow, or depending on what model, you might be a phlegmatic, or, whatever model you're using. But I promise you, no matter what personality type you have, if you will train yourself to act within 5 seconds of impulse, you will change your life. One of the things that I do, I've actually gotten to the point where my first thought when I wake up in the morning, no matter what time it is I know that I have 5 seconds to get out of bed, or else my brain is going to start giving me reasons why I shouldn't get out of bed. And I've literally journaled my days. And the fact is, my days, when I get out of bed within 2, 3, or 4 seconds of my alarm going off, or just my first waking up, I typically have far better, far more productive days than literally even if I wait 6 seconds. That might sound ridiculous, but I promise you it's true. You got to try it. Anyway, check out the book. That's enough about the 5-second rule, but it's really powerful. The next thing I want to say about procrastination, and actually I should be writing these down. The next thing I want to say, so first we had the 5-second rule. The next one is I want you to understand procrastination, and this may sound a little harsh, is loser behavior. Like, that might be rude to say, but it is. Procrastination is actually the number one symptom of loserness or loserdom or whatever the term is. And here's my empirical data to support that statement. That means it's not just me being judgy, right? So procrastination is essentially a form of immediate gratification. That's basically what procrastination is. It's saying, I don't want to do what I should do. I want to do what feels good right now. Immediate gratification is the opposite of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification obviously is, okay, I'm willing to forego what feels good now to get what to wait and put it off, right? You know, it's kind of the saying, like, work hard now and your life will be easy. Take it easy now and your life will be hard. So delayed gratification is the opposite of immediate gratification, which is synonymous with procrastination. Well, if you've never heard of the Stanford marshmallow experiment, you definitely need to look it up. Because the Stanford marshmallow experiment was a test that they did on these kids, and they basically tested, they would give the kids a marshmallow, and they'd say, okay, now, Lil Johnny, we're gonna leave the room, and if you can go 10 minutes without eating your marshmallow, then when we come back, we're gonna give you a second marshmallow. So they tested hundreds and hundreds of these kids on this marshmallow test. And of every single scientific study that they've ever done on children, no test better predicted the future outcome of children than this one test. The ability to wait and for 10 minutes and not eat the damn marshmallow and wait for the second marshmallow is the greatest scientific measure in a child of whether or not they'll end up going to jail, whether or not they'll end up getting divorced, whether or not they'll end up going bankrupt, even whether or not they'll end up contracting chronic illness. It's the most powerful litmus test or like indicator ever for children, whether or not they're gonna grow up to be winners or losers. So basically, especially if you're an adult, now, like if you're a child watching this, then, you know, okay, sensitivity training kicking in here, like you're not doomed, you've still got time to change. But if you're an adult watching this and you're a chronic procrastinator, understand that you are behaving consistently with immediate gratification, which according to scientific studies of children and humans mapped over decades of time, basically categorizes you as highly likely to end up with loser outcomes. I don't know, maybe that's jerky, but like the intent here is actually to like shock/shame you a little bit into going like, oh shit, I really need to not be a procrastinator because that is loser behavior. It's been scientifically proven that the pursuit of immediate gratification is the greatest indicator of future loserdom. So don't be a procrastinator and let the shame work for you in this case. Normally I'm not a big shamer, but now it can be your friend. Anyway, the final tip on stopping procrastination is, and this I see this a lot in my coaching, is people look at a day and they have this weird sense of time, like, and I would compare it to sports. Imagine if you had let's say a basketball game, right? So what's that? I think 4 12-minute quarters. You have 48 minutes of basketball. Imagine if every time you scored a point in a basketball game, you were like, oh man, that was hard. Okay, we got one in. All right, guys, so let's just chill. Let's just chill until we feel like playing some more. You'd get run off the court, right? No, there's 48 minutes to play. And in 48 minutes, you need to keep scoring and get momentum. And if you have a lead, you need to pad your lead. You need to get further ahead because you're never so far ahead. Until the last few seconds of a game, you're never so far ahead. The other team could have Reggie Miller who can score what did he score? Like 11 points in 8 seconds in a playoff game? Like, you never know. You got to keep getting ahead. One of the biggest things I see about procrastination and procrastinators and people that are trying to flip the productivity switch is they get all psyched up to do something and then they do it and then they act like it's Miller time. They stop. No, you got to build momentum. Success loves momentum. The best time to start a new project is right after you just crushed your last project. That might seem counterintuitive to people that are like, nah, slow and steady, tortoise in the hare kind of thing. I'm calling BS, dude. It's not the tortoise or the hare. You got to be both in this world. And procrastination, one of the tricks of the mind that leads to procrastination is the idea that when you finish something, you should wait to start the next thing. Build momentum. You do that, you're constantly starting and stopping. Look at an engine. Look at how inefficient an engine is if it speeds up and stops, speeds up and stops. You got to find your nice 65, 70 mile an hour groove, which is, by the way, that's fast enough. That's fast enough that if you wreck, you're going to die. So you need to get going really fast and actually hold it. Okay, anyway, that's my 2 cents on procrastination. I'm curious your thoughts. What does this make you feel? What does this bring up for you? Is this a struggle for you? You're watching videos on YouTube, so hopefully this isn't something you're doing like 6, 7, 8 hours a day, but if at least you're watching videos on how to improve yourself. Anyway, let me know your thoughts below. And if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure you click the bell so you get notifications when I post new videos. Thanks, this is Jeff Lerner. And whatever you do, stop procrastinating.